y'all. Welcome to episode 155 of Consignment Chats. We are here today to talk about goals. And no, that is not like the lack thereof scoring points that the Eagles did not have against the Cowboys. This is actually goals that have to do with your business.
All right. For me, it is my primary motivator to have a goal. When I have a goal,
Yes.
it can motivate me even on the days I'm feeling unmotivated. And I was really struggling like a couple years ago, like things were going along, the business was sustaining itself, but I didn't have any goals. Like I didn't know what I was driving toward. And that was really, really a dark place to be in. Um, it sounds like I should have been content maybe, but I wasn't. Like I felt like something was missing. I didn't have anything to drive towards. So um I developed the listing calculator,
I
which
love
is
it.
free.
Which we
You can
love.
download it on our consignmentchats.com website. And it's just a tool to help you with these are monetary goals, right? It breaks it down, it reverse engineers it for you based on what you want your income to be, because we're all very, very different in that respect. We all have different bills, different families, different stuff, different businesses, right?
Yeah.
All right. So it kind of reverse engineers it and it breaks it down into a daily goal, a weekly goal, a monthly goal, and then you have your overarching yearly goal. So for me, I need to know what I'm doing every day. I need to hit
Yeah.
that goal every day consistently. So,
And I'm the
And
kind of
then,
person that I like to know it by the week because some days aren't going to always be, but I need to know, like, if I come down in the clutch and I'm like, ooh, this week then I know that last day I'm in the clutch, like I got to get, 16 more items in addition listed.
so I'm both. I like to look at my daily, keep track daily, grind it daily. But I also get easily distracted. So at the end of the week, I need to know what my weekly is so I can still crush the overall goal.
All right,
yeah.
here's
So
the
I just
question.
shared in our masterminds group, which is available on Patreon. If you guys are interested in more in depth goal setting, woohoo! I just shared that last week. I just with a click of a button in Consign Cloud, I see what I've listed for the week or for the day. And I was $700, $600 or $700 short for the week. And I'm like, it's Saturday morning, and I'm like, I was taking the rest of the day off, and I looked around and I saw that cello that has been sitting there for a week or so unlisted. So, boom, there we go, hit my goal. So it forces you to be creative when you have that goal. Otherwise, if I didn't know I needed to list that amount of inventory, that dollar amount in a week, that cello would still be sitting right there.
Hmm.
So that's
I'll
one of
do
the
it
things
next week.
I was going to ask y'all with the listing calculator. And y'all, if you haven't done it, seriously do it. We did it in Patreon with somebody else who hadn't done it. And I can't wait to hear how
A few
that
minutes.
game changer is. But when you're doing yours personally, do you like to focus more on the daily, how many listings or the daily monetary total in your listing? Because the great thing about this is you can do both. What do
Hmm.
you mainly focus on? Do you try to focus on I have to get, say, 17 if that's what the calculator tells you, or do you focus on I got to get $700 listed?
So in the beginning, when I was looking at my processes and having my systems in place and getting into the groove of how I listed and did all the things, I looked at the number of listings. I wanted to make sure I could get 20, 30 items a day and get up to that number that I wanted and have my processes in place. And now that I have steady processes, I look at the monetary value. So I can cherry pick and do what I need to do to get the money amount.
That is really what I recommend. Is get your processes down, get that number, whether it's 10 listings a day, five, whatever your number is, have the listing calculator tell you that and really concentrate on that. And so you can do it consistently. You're happy with your process. And then for the real game changer, you're going to look at how much money you're listing a day. And
Yeah.
it is so much easier once you know you can consistently list 10 items a day or 30 items a day.
Yep.
A little, a little honest look into Molly straight on, as my parents always
Oh,
said.
oh, I'm not ready for
Will
this.
always get what she needs in the end. Like she might not do it quite the way you think she will or want her to,
Hmm?
but she'll figure it out in the end. I am that person, y'all. My son is just like me. We just get what needs to be done. And that's why I like the monetary part, because I know that if it's been a week and I haven't gotten a lot of listings up, I can just pick out those high-end items, and it can take me 3 listings as opposed to 20 listings to hit my goal when I'm looking at the money. Now, I don't, that's probably the lazy man's way of looking at it, is what I'm going to go with there, but I like it, and it works all right for me.
I mean, let's talk about like how that's worked for people. Is it forces you to not get distracted in the busy work of listing things that aren't that profitable. It
Yeah.
That's
really
the thing.
forces you to look at it.
It definitely helped me raise my value that I look at in items now when I'm sourcing and taking consignment, is looking at things with a higher resale value. So yeah.
Yeah, we've been driving toward a higher average sales price for years now, and I read you our numbers the other day. I was looking in eBay at the reports and stuff, and yeah, we are steadily climbing. We are steadily climbing with that average sales price.
Oh,
Yay! It works.
So that's the nice thing about the calculator too. Like we were just talking in our Patreon that I like to look at it every couple months, because it takes a few months for your numbers to correlate with what you're doing, and to catch up in all your platforms and things like that. And then even if you're doing it that way, your numbers are going up, your average sale price is going up, and the number of things you have to list goes down. And so you just need to tweak that calculator to reflect what you're currently doing, and then make sure you just stay on track with whatever is going on. So it's something that can fluctuate with you in the style of the way that you do it.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
takes minutes, guys. We literally did it in like less than 5 minutes with a person in our Patreon today, and it was done and easy.
And
It's
it
fun.
gives you a peace of mind. You know you have days off, like you build how many days off you want into it. Gives you peace
Yes.
of mind when things really just fall apart. You know what I mean? When something interferes,
Mhm.
or you know you're going to be away for a week, you take that, and you know it's your vacation time. So it's
Yeah.
also useful for that.
So this free little beauty that you created, thank you very much, especially for those of us that aren't real good at these kind of like spreadsheet math things. I thank you for creating this and putting it out there to the world. Um, that's great business wise. What other kind of goals in our everyday life as resellers are important?
So I always put the money first, because you need to sustain your business, right? You need to know how much you need to pay your bills, right? So for me, that comes first. If I can't pay my bills, I really need to reconsider things. But the other thing is your mission. What are you doing with your business? Where are you going? What is your business mission, Samantha?
Giving used items a second chance at an affordable price.
All right.
And
And mine's very different.
I remind myself of that, because I can get caught up in the online reselling part of like competitive pricing and looking at comps and doing all this stuff. But then when I'm focusing more on my local customers, and which is what that mission is for my community and my local sales, my local stuff, I remind myself like, no, this is supposed to be affordable for my customer. And that, yeah, it really keeps me in line.
Yeah. And at Conchi, our mission, Conchi Consignment, our mission is growing a community of circular conscious people. So it really, yeah, it's really pretty cool. But it looks way different when you put those two missions, and when you are setting your goals, it's very different. Like our two missions are very different, and our goals are very different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really important to take 10 minutes, figure out where you're heading, what's important to you, because there are a million ways to do this business successfully. A million combinations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And if you're not sure of it, we can help you with your mission. We do that.
Yes.
We do personal coaching in our Patreon. I know we keep talking about Patreon, right? But it's been such a game changer for so many people. We can help you decide on your mission. I mean, I have to say, I did one for my sister, who is an artist. He was like a TikTok influencer, and it was a game changer for her. And like, so even that, rather than just kind of like sprinkling your seeds everywhere and doing this and that. Like, this makes everything easier. Yeah.
Yep.
See, I'm still pumpkin planting because I'm sprinkling the seeds.
Sprinkling
Yes.
seeds. Pumpkin planting, pumpkins everywhere.
Oh, Lord.
So what other tools do you use to meet these goals?
So tools. I know what I use. Molly's getting something. Paper notebook. All right.
I have to have my lists every day. That's how I set my goals. In the morning, I got to think about it. I usually am really good, really good of getting that settled prior to our motivation in minutes meeting, because I like to have it helps me really set my intention for the day. If I get up and I get that list done, and then by doing that list, it helps me, okay, these are the things I got to accomplish, which then kind of push me towards what my intention for the day is and figuring out what my word is that I'm going to focus on. So it kind of all goes together like that. It gets me rolling.
So I'm gonna show this now. I was gonna show this after I talked about Google Calendar and everything, but our C Chat's intention journal. So every morning we have our motivation in minutes with our Patreon group, and Molly developed this journal, and it's just so beautiful. So you put the date up there, you put your word of intention. Today I will attract. Today I'm grateful for, and today the quote is. And I keep this on my desk all day. Setting an intention is way more powerful than I realized. Way more powerful. Yeah.
And
So
being able to talk about that, like we have a 10-minute meeting. The last couple days, it's been like a 13 to 15 minute.
It's going
meeting.
to be 10 minutes. It's not changing from that.
I know.
So it's keep it under control.
It's a 10-minute meeting, but it is nice when we have the extra couple minutes to say, I picked this word because today I've been hearing Libby's voice in my head all day. Are you really going to be able to do that? How are you going to get that done? So every time I tick something off of my calendar today, I'm like telling Libby, like, see, I did that. I did it.
Instead of damn it dolls, maybe we should have like Libby dolls and Samantha dolls, and you know what I mean? Like, they're there.
Oh, I don't put that out into the world. No.
I don't think so either.
Terrible idea.
What can my creative brain put together?
Okay, you usually have some great ideas, but that one is leaves a little to be desired. How do I say that kindly?
We don't need a plushie line, just flat out no.
No plushies. No Squishmallow Samantha.
Oh gosh.
Oh wait, wait. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So my word of intention today was squeeze, and I am using my Google Calendar to squeeze lots of things in. And Tuesdays, when we record and do all of our meetings and all the things, are usually quite busy. But we have minutes in between and we have things going on. So I just wanted to plan and squeeze a long to-do list of things that I have to do today. And so I have kept my calendar up, and whenever we stop recording or we stop being in a Zoom call, I see my calendar and take another thing off of there. And especially today, I had a bunch of stuff scheduled for later on because I didn't think that I would get to anything while we did all this. And I've been able to delete several of those and just take them right off because I already finished them. So there we go.
Wow. That intention. Now, what would have happened if you hadn't had that intention?
I'd still have a long list of things to do, and half of them probably would have went till tomorrow. Yeah.
And mine today, I'll share mine for today was present, because a lot of times I have a hard time being present actually where I am. Well, I guess that's what present means, right? And really focusing on what I'm doing and not getting distracted by the notifications on my phone, and just like go all in with what I'm doing in that moment. And I think it's going to be mine on most days, because
I
it's
have a really simple solution for you on that one. Just turn off the notifications on your phone, and guess what? They don't interrupt you, because I don't.
Who's going to tell you about your Poshmark?
You set a time to go check those. You just go check them. That's all. I don't do notifications. I hate
No,
notifications.
I have to notify her. I am your notification system.
I
I'm just
know.
gonna throw
I
that
can't
out
turn
there.
you.
I am your notification. You do get
Unfortunately,
notifications.
y'all,
I just
I
have to
cannot turn
filter them
her
for you.
off. I can turn them off on my phone, but I can't turn her off.
Yeah, I have to have notifications. I manage so many things for my family and everything that I have to have my notifications, and it's just because that's like another list for me. I just go through them. But right now, my phone's in another room, so I'm not distracted by it. I can't keep track of it. It's going to be fully
Yeah.
charged and ready to list when I am done with this. So,
Hmm.
boom. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't. I mean, that's not something I really ever. I'm not. You guys know I'm not really distracted by my phone.
no.
Like when it's time to look at notifications, I'll look at notifications. But when I'm in a meeting, because you guys will be texting each other and me, I don't respond until I just don't. I'm in it.
She joins in and the conversation's already done and over. We're through.
Right. Yeah.
Which is why I have to keep my phone in a completely separate room from me, because even if the notifications were off, I would still be doing stuff.
I don't know. I was shopping during listing party through your phone earlier. I got a few things I'm buying. So
Yes.
All right. Well,
Yes.
talk
I
about
hate to do
goals.
this because it's kind of weird, but I have a notification from my dog that he needs to go out like right this second. So
Oh
that's
my
not one I
word.
can ignore. I'll be right back. Carry
Okay.
on.
In the meantime,
This potty break brought to you by Chihuahuas.
oh boy, oh boy.
So,
Right.
what other things come to mind when you think of goals? What do
Well, I first
you,
wanted to focus on your Google Calendar for a minute
yeah.
because I love that you use that, and you know that's not my jam.
Mhm.
Um, and I really want to figure out why I'm a pen to paper girl, but I don't know it's just easy to you. I want to understand this because I want to be able to sync up with the other calendars and get it and be
So
able
I
to have
think
goals in
I
front of me.
think that's yeah, the best thing is that it does sync. So like we have our consignment chats calendars, you guys can add stuff on there and it syncs right with my Google Calendar. And I'll do like a sorting with Samantha drop off one so I can keep track of who's dropping things off for consignment today. I do one for my daughter, which her other parents can put things into, and so can she. So at any given time I can look at all of it, or I can deselect them and just look at one thing, or however I need to do that. I I have been toying around with getting like a paper calendar or something for my desk for specific like listing daily goals, just to be able to just put a big X through that day and say boom, my goal was done. But
It does feel good, by the way. I just want to let you know there is some
yeah,
yeah, you do get something from that. Like the big
yeah,
done.
right.
Yeah, that's something to be said about that.
But the other side of me, like I at any given time when my husband's asking, what I'm doing at 6 p.m. tomorrow, or when I wake up in the morning and I have to figure out how much time I really have to lay in bed and play my Monopoly app for a minute, or Wordle or whatever, I need to be able to glance at my calendar and see everything I need to do that day to to know that. So that is why I like the electronic version the best. I if I had a journal, like I still don't have a notebook in this office. I had one a couple days ago.
Oh
I
my
would
gosh,
lose it.
y'all. She doesn't have a notebook. Can I just show y'all something? This is the difference
Lose
between
it.
us. Hold on. Hold on. She says, wait, I don't even have a notebook in this office. I use my computer. Y'all, I got a notebook for everything. There's a
Yeah,
bag for everything. There's a notebook for everything.
I have a pad of sticky notes. So
Ah.
that's it. And I don't like having sticky notes around, so it just drives me nuts. I
Well,
don't
see,
like clutter.
Mm.
this is my daily goals. This stays the pink because it says do the damn thing. This reminds me of Libby. Just do it, get it done.
But
So I bought this to help me keep Libby with me, but it's in my signature pink color. Do the damn thing. This is
aw.
my daily goals. Then I have my minute motivation notes and goals book. Then I have a C chats book, a thrifty. I got a book for everything.
So the other thing with my Google, as my watch just went off, the other thing about Google Calendars is when I add something in my calendar, you can set alarms. You can set. I have like the standard half hour beforehand or 15 minutes beforehand. Um, so then that way I'm reminded, like, oh, I have to do our Patreon meeting in half an hour. Oh, I need to go break down boxes in 20 minutes. Like it's helping me stay on task that way. I'm not good at setting timers. Not good at it.
I never was good at any of those. Nick's always been a good reminder person through his calendar. I'm not, but what I've gotten good at since we started the motivation in minutes, because that's first thing in the morning. And in the morning, I find it easy to, like, you get up, you get in the shower, you get your coffee, and then I start talking to my husband, and the news is on, and then all of a sudden it's 9:30. Well, that's kind of
Yeah.
like used to be. But now that I have this, I gotta be at this meeting at 8:50 every morning because the girls are there and we're gonna get our day started with a how. I set my 8:35 to give me the, okay, no matter what part of the house I'm in, that gives me enough time to finish
Mhm.
whatever I'm doing, to get up here and set my daily intention and get my goals set for the day. So I have gotten much better now with my 8:35 alarm. I'm doing,
Nice.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
so I'm
growing,
not big.
y'all.
I do. I love Google Calendar because it keeps us in sync, right?
Yes.
I
Yep.
have one
That's what
with
we were
my
talking about.
family, and I
Mhm.
have one with us, because how would we track each other's schedule? Like, seriously, like,
That's
how
what
would that
Samantha was
even
just
happen?
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And I
No,
don't,
that's okay. It just reiterates that fact that yeah,
yeah,
we coordinate, we run multiple businesses, all of us, and we do multiple things, and we have multiple families and stuff, and it's just the way to keep track of all of that for sure. Hmm.
Yeah. Now I also like, I do like my notebooks. I am like Molly. I have one for consignment chats. I have one for Conchi. I have one for family. And I have that. So when I'm working on with consignment chats, out the notebook comes, thanks to my reseller genie.
I was gonna say, I know that notebook. I got one of those.
So
Yeah. And
so I just noticed something, and this is why I'm not good with paper. I have one sticky note on my shelf, on my snack shelf of all things, where I look constantly. It says
what is it?
water your flowers. Because we were supposed to start that yesterday and talk about watering flowers, and I dropped the flowers. They're not watered, they're dry, they're dying, and that is
Oh,
why I'm not good at paper
No.
things.
There's still time. You can water them tomorrow. You can water them tomorrow. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah. Wow, she says.
I need
She
to
can't
put
even
that in
get
my
out the
calendar,
words.
then I would remember
I'm
to
the
do
one
it.
that found the thing, and I didn't even remember that we were supposed to do it. So
We were all so
And
profoundly
I just
touched by
left it.
it.
I just left it up to you guys. I should have known better, for
here's the
crying
thing
out
y'all
loud.
need to know about us. I come up with phenomenal ideas. I don't
Brilliant.
usually give myself
Brilliant.
credit
Mhm.
with things. I like to kind of hide, but I will come up with ideas left and right like no other. I can fill you 17 notebooks with phenomenal ideas for your business, your
Yeah.
social media, episodes, anything. Ask me, I'll figure it out. I'll give you I'm like your own AI, but I'm a person, not a computer when it comes to these things. But then actually going through with them, that's a whole nother story.
That's my
That's where
job.
they come in.
That's poor.
That's where they come in.
I don't know why Libby always feels so overwhelmed and like she's got 5 million things to do, because between the three of us, our brainstorming sessions are just like boom, we're gonna conquer the freaking world. As long
And
as
we're not
Libby
even
reminds us
dreaming.
what time we're gonna do that.
Right.
Yeah.
When we're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we do these things sober. Like we're not even at happy hour and they're coming out like that. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like it's just coffee coming out.
No alcohol needed. Mm-mm.
Give us a happy hour and a bar napkin and think of what else we could do. Good Lord. Wow, the possibilities are endless.
All right. We were talking about something right before we came on here, and we were going to kind of introduce this concept to Molly because she'd never heard of it.
Ever.
And it's called SMART goals. And those of us that worked in corporate settings probably all know what SMART goals are. It was the thing. I think it still is kind of the thing. So SMART is like acrostic. So it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. And I just want to talk about like each of these when you're thinking about your goals. Like specific, you have your listing calculator. You're going to be specific. And measurable. All right, well, it's a number. We can measure that. Like and it could be, I mean, we're talking about money here. It could be a time goal. So, Molly, do you want to kind of talk about what we were doing in motivation in minutes this morning about task completion, maybe if you struggle with that?
About I love when you put these things on me and then
No,
I
no,
got to
no,
get my
it's
brain.
fine. I can talk about, I can talk,
Start it and I can
I
finish
can get
it.
the ball rolling. So,
Get the ball roll.
I was using you as an example because you have ADD and you have struggled and you've talked openly about this, with not like perfectionism and getting stuff done, and you
How
feel
to
like a
change.
failure. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't
How to
get the
change the way you
task
think.
done.
So
So,
I always, because I live by my notebook with my checklist, if I didn't check everything off at the end of the day, I did not succeed. My day was a bust.
mhm.
I failed. And you just, where do you go from there? If that's the way you
And I
think
tried
things
telling her,
through,
you're not a failure, but believe me, it just bounced out. Like there was no talking to her. No, I
if,
failed. No, I didn't do it.
if that's the way
Mhm.
you do your day, where are you going to go from there, right? Like, what are you
Mhm,
going to
mhm.
do? Like, and
Right.
so back in the early days of consignment chats, we had a guest come on who helped us with time planning, and getting things together. And I had met with her solo beforehand, which was why I was like, okay, we got to have this show because she's amazing. But in helping me on my own, one of the things that she said to me that was just life changing, and I do have to take myself back there because lifetime of habits are hard to break, right? Lifetime of
Yeah.
habits is what I've always done. She then gave me this information of how to switch that. So I do have to recheck myself often with it. But instead of doing my goals as a checklist of if they're not complete, then I failed, it is looking at them as, okay, this is on my list. And during this time, I'm going to give everything I've got. I've got 30 minutes for this. I'm going to give everything I've got into this thing for 30 minutes. The success is I gave everything I had to that for 30 minutes. Way to go. Like that's it. Boom. Success.
Simple.
Don't make it the completion of the item, but the fact that you actually focused and worked your butt off on that item for 30 minutes. That is
Yep.
your success.
Yeah. So it could be like what I was saying this morning was just, that measurable goal could be as simple as I need to spend the next 10 minutes listing. I mean, don't make it, and we're going to get around to the attainable next. Just make them small, simple things and feel that success because that is an intrinsic motivator. So the more successful you are, the more motivated you are. And it just kind of creates this snowball where you are feeling more motivated. The more you beat yourself down, the more you say you didn't do that, the less motivated you will feel.
And it goes hand in hand too though. Don't be lying to yourself just to make it seem fluffier and happier than it is. Don't fluff things up and say, "Oh, well, you're still going to know on the inside if you truly focused for that 30 minutes or
Oh,
that 10 minutes or
absolutely.
whatever." So don't try to lie to yourself. Just do the best you can in small chunks.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it'll all come around. And
Yep.
when you're a list person like me, it gives you that inner, what's the word? I'm like a dopamine hit to check it off your list, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not getting those dopamine hits because you're checking items off your list, that drives into that feeling defeated and whatever. But if you change what your list is and your list goes from list 23 items today to list for 2 hours, you have from 9 to 11 to list and you list from 9 to 11, you get to check that off.
Yep.
But if you do 23 and one of them took a little more research than you thought it would, or three of those items took more research time and all of a sudden you didn't do it, you don't get to check that list. You don't get your dopamine hit and you need your dopamine hit. So
moral of the story, measurable, measure what makes sense to you. It can be time, it can be money, it could be checked items off your list. It needs to be specific to you, what your personality is, and what you will feel good about.
Yeah.
Which leads into the next one, which Molly and I have discussed ad nauseum. Attainable goals. Attainable goals.
So this
You're
morning we're
making all
going
these
through
goals.
Yeah, we're going through a listing calculator and we've went through it with some people where I want to make this much and I currently list this and I do this and they're putting all their numbers and then you get that final number of what they need to do each day or each week and they go, "What?" And they're defeated right off the bat because they see this
right.
huge number. Just because you filled that in and you have a better understanding of what you need to do doesn't mean you have to do that today. Take that in chunks, start small. If it says you need to list 50 a day to make whatever you wanted to make, but you're currently listing 10, then how about you do 15 a day this week? How about you do 11 a day this week? Just as long as you're growing and you know that number that you need to get to achieve what you need to do.
And there are all sorts of like tweaks you can do to that, right? Maybe it's you work an extra week during the year. Maybe it's you work an extra day during the week. Maybe it's you only list higher dollar value stuff.
Right.
Maybe you only list stuff with a higher sell-through rate that bumps that up. Like there are definitely things you can tweak to get there and make it attainable. If you find that you're maxed out and there's nothing more you can adjust, you better ratchet that goal down.
Yeah.
Because
but I do like
what's going to happen. Like what happens, Molly? Let's talk about what happens when you set yourself a crazy goal.
We just talked about the burnout, the shutdown. Yeah, that's the burnout, the shutdown. Like
you're immediately discouraged no matter what. You're like, I'm never gonna get there.
And then you're like, this business isn't for me. Why did I ever think I got it? Yeah, you could go down a real deep hole if you wanted. Nah. You're not going to be able to if you hang out with us, though, because we don't allow.
And then
we allow you to get so far, and then we're like, pick it back up, bitch.
So I loved in our Motivation in Minutes, Billy has, when she sets her goals, she has her, what was the first one called? Her goal, right? She wants to list. I'm just going to make up numbers here because I don't want to share anybody else's like real numbers. These are not her goals, but I'm just going to add numbers in there. Her goal is based on the number of items listed. So let's say her goal is to list 10 a day. All right, that's great. All right, she can hit that consistently and feel good about that. Her stretch goal maybe is 20 a day. Wow. All right, I got to 10, but I still have another goal if I feel like I can stretch myself. Then there's a wow goal, which is like, let's say 30 a day. And she can hit that. Wow, pom-poms come out. Like she can feel really amazing, but it's not when she hits the 20, she stops, right? Like she just will keep going until she hits the wow goal if that's the kind of day she's having. So maybe think about that. Like if you feel that you're setting your goals too low, that they're too attainable, or you feel like, oh, that's too easy. Well, make it your goal and then make yourself a stretch goal.
And then that goal is your minimum. Your goal is you have to hit that. Right. If you do more, you get extra pom-poms, you get extra cheering. It's great. But you have to hit your goal.
Right. So we see everybody come in all pumped, right? And they're like, all right, I'm going to list 100 a day and I got this. I'm going to work 7 days a week. I'm just all about the hustle. Hey, that's great for a season. You might be able to maintain that for a season.
But can you do that for a lifetime? Can you do that all year long?
Yeah. No. I've tried. I've tried because I'm on that. Burn myself out.
You still try. We still have to stop you.
I know.
Like, back it up.
It's my natural inclination is I will work myself until I can work no longer. And my body says, no, you're done. These ladies are really helping me with that.
I love how very different we all three are. I mean, seriously, when you think in and out of all these episodes, when we have these things we talk about, the three of us are so very different in everything we do. And the great thing is how we lift each other in and out of our different issues and move ourselves around. I don't know. It's really cool. And the fact that we have a community now that we're all doing that together. So cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Hashtag goals.
All right. So the next one is relevant. All right. And I think this kind of goes hand in hand with measurable. Make sure you're measuring something and you're setting something that's relevant to your business. That's relevant to where you want to get, right?
And relevant to something that you actually need to measure. If I set a photography goal right now or like something to do, I don't have any issues with my photography process or anything, but I could definitely set a goal and achieve it if I want it, but that's not helping me at all. That's not, yeah.
Wow, excellent example. I wish we role played that. Dang it. All right. It was a perfect opportunity I just missed.
Oh, lots.
All right. The next one, the last one, the most important one, and we use this all the time for everything, is there needs to be a time. It needs to be time bound. I want to make $1 million. All right. Well, I've probably made $1 million. I've definitely made $1 million, but over the course of how long? Right.
Right.
Like, all right, I want to make $1 million is very different than I want to make $1 million this year. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very different. So like so we always say, you're trying something new, give it 3 months.
Yep.
When you do the listing calculator and you get those numbers, it takes about 3 months for your business to catch up. There's so many things that adhere to that 3-month rule. That's why we use it all the time. And we generally say, try it for 3 months. I want you to go. I mean, how often do we say this when we're coaching somebody? I want you to write in your calendar 3 months from now. That is the date. We are going to revisit this. We're going to consider your thoughts on it. We're going to work with you and here, help you make a decision, but not for 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I talk about this a lot when I'm talking about our Patreon mastermind group, and we have a weekly group and we have a monthly group. And that which group you fit in could vary depending on how you do with your goals and how you do with your timeline. Some people have good processes, they're doing good, they don't maybe need so much accountability or so much check-in, and they just want to set a goal each month, see everybody each month, and do it that way. Other people, like myself, need a weekly goal and and we need to be able to come in on Tuesday and say, yes, I got that done last week, and then do another small chunk of something that could be done this week, and be able to break it down and go step by step. So depending on the goal you're setting, having that different timeline and time frame, as long as you know the chunk of time you need to attain that goal.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty too of sharing your goals with others is that you learn about other goals that you might want to set that you may have never thought about for your business until somebody else sets it for theirs. Not that we get into the comparison. That's not what I'm saying. It's oh my gosh, I never ever thought about it that way. That is something that would be great for me to set as a goal in my business because I had never looked at that.
The daily money thing. I never thought about the money part of it. I thought about, I need to do 20 listings a day. I want my 20 listings a day. Well, which 20 things I'm listing a day can vary greatly. So talking with Libby and everybody and having that mind shift to the money part, I never would have got that if I weren't in this group talking with people. Like, never.
I never would have got my new inventory system, which I'm so excited to show you guys. That came out of the mastermind group with Billy. She introduced me to it. Yeah. Never even really crossed my mind until she started talking about it. I'm like, that is brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. I love it.
And it works for me.
Y'all, we got our next episode. I think we got to get into consignment chat goals for 2024. That'll be coming up in the near future. If y'all want to hear what our goals for 2024 are going to be, because we're going to be coming up with them.
I still need to redo our ideal customer so that I can have a better understanding of those goals as well. So make sure everybody has your ideal customer down.
Yes.
This is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that's the other thing we did add to our Patreon shop is we have an ideal customer template. We have, what else do we have up there? We have some other, sample consignor agreement. Yeah, we have some worksheets there. So yeah, definitely check that out. Some of it is available for free. Some of it is by donation. I think we did like $5 or whatever, because
$5 or $10 or something. Yeah.
Like, when they download it for free, they're like, this is amazing. Can I give you guys something for it? I'm like, just spread the word. And I'm like, yeah, you can give us $5 for it if that makes you happy. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it makes us happy and gives us more time to continue doing what we're doing and really concentrating on helping other resellers. So,
which, by the way, is our goal. Sorry, I thought I'd throw the word out again.
All right, ladies, this has been fun, but we have goals that we have
We
to
have
go and
goals.
conquer.
We have goals we got to meet. So get your cheers goal here, girls. Until next
Yay.
time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining Libby, Molly, and Samantha, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we build a resourceful community of collaborative resellers. Find all the ways to connect with us on consignmentchats.com. Episodes are available on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. In addition, join our free private Facebook community.